Finally, Pioneer Masters is on the thing. This hand is okay for Lotus Field Combo. There are certainly some cards we would like to see. The one deck we don't want to see is good old-fashioned Prowess, and that's immediately what we're getting paired against. So. Okay. Let those go. Don't really think cycling Vizier gets us very far, so guess we hope we survive this turn and move on. No, there was no ups. There's just nothing else going on, so sure. Okay, so 9. Not quite lethal on turn 3 here, so. Cycle. Pull over the pages. I'm 99% sure we're done here. So if I block here, take whatever, and then they can just blow up in my face. Sure. Alright, second match. This hand's just too questionable. This hand isn't great, but I think we keep it back. Thoughtseize. Nope. Up against we need to find colored land here. Well, don't really like playing. We could be dead next turn if they have Yagura. So how many cycles would I have to burn here to... Okay, this is +1, this is +1. Um, hmm. Okay. Sure. Guess they decided the Fatal Push wasn't good here. I still have Yagura, which would be annoying. Mm-hmm. We're not dead to Fatal, fortunately, so. Grab. Alright, so. 3 blue. Dagnabbit. I made it copy itself, sure. Hmm. Play Lier and hope we survive a turn. Since I goofed on the whatchamacallits here. If they don't find Yagura, we might have a chance here. Force them to burn all their extra action on. That's game because they can just mill us out here. That was dumb. No, we wouldn't have been able to. If we Boseiju, play Boseiju, we'd be missing additional green. Alright, this hand is possibly reasonable. A little bit on the slow side, but we'll try it. Against blue-white control, yay! Okay. Legitimately don't care if this gets countered, but do nothing. We get to play this fun game of chicken. Mm-hmm. Tap. Omniscience. Boom! Finally picked up a win. Alright, can we pick up 2 wins in a row? Yeah, I think this hand is fine enough, I suppose. Start with the tap land. Mono red. Maybe? It's a slow start for mono red, but I suppose possible. Mm-hmm. Alright, so we somehow survive this turn. Maybe we have a prayer? Start with Dark Petition, or this. Okay, so that nets us 7, 8. Recycle Vizier. Play Omniscience. Emergent Ultimatum. Play Fae of Wishes. Pages and Lier. Okay. Approach. Cast approach. Dark Petition. Find approach. Cast approach. Easy GG. This hand isn't great, but at least it has a little bit of interaction and everything we need as far as in main setup. So let's Forest go. Alright, so play up against Burbs. Get Thespian stage. I have no idea what's going on over there. Okay. I feel like our opponent's running some type of Covetous Falcon, flip this up, give us bad permanent non-juju. Okay. Cycle. All right. Well, it just concedes, even though I don't think they're quite dead yet, but alright, so Pioneer Masters is finally on MTG Arena, which means effectively Explorer is now Pioneer in terms of most of the tier strategies that you could possibly want, including a deck that we've tried to make work on the channel on Arena, and that being Lotus Field Combo. Obviously, the key card that's been missing is the card Hidden Strings. That is now in the format, as well as Dark Petition. Well, a lot of people moved away toward the Artist's Talent version of the deck. Today we're trying out the more traditional version of the deck. Obviously we'll be in a best of one environment because it's the midweek meta event they do. So we have an interesting run. We kind of get beat up by Mono Red, and then managed to beat a Mono Red that I don't think was trying its hardest. Beat Blue-Eye Control, and then beat some Grixis pile that somebody looked like they were trying out some fun stuff. But obviously the main thing with this thing, Hidden Strings enables you to combo up much easier to pair with your Vizier of Sands and your copies of Pore Over the Pages, as opposed to having to run like things like Voyaging Satyr or any of that in the main deck. That said, this version is the Strict Proctor version, so the mana is a little bit choppy with the white mana, but didn't have too many problems with mulliganing with that this version. Strict Proctor allows you to stifle your Lotus Field trigger, much like the old, I forget what the time walk, end of turn time walk was. But very similarly, stifling the trigger, keeping you from having to sacrifice lands. Although sometimes you can just, play this on turn 3, sacrifice a couple lands, kind of go from there. Alternatively, you can play something like Arboreal Grazer to try to get ahead on lands. Either one is fine. And then 4 Sylvan Scrying, 4 copies of Archdruid's Charm really allows you to have multiple copies of both of these, which you need to kind of go off. Then once you get Lotus Field and a copy of it, or just 2 copies of Lotus Field in play, then you start chaining off with your mana, with Hidden Strings, Vizier, Pore of the Pages. Eventually you want to hit either Emergent Ultimatum or Omniscience, and then from there it's kind of arbitrary to win. The main win con in this one seems to be Fae of Wishes into Approach of the Second Sun. Now, there's a lot of other versions. There's some versions that have run Chandra in the past. There's some versions that have run Mastermind's Acquisition, etc. So there is many different ways to win the game, but this version is choosing to run 1 copy of Fae of Wishes and get Approach of the Second Sun. The rest of the deck, Soul Partition is a little bit of interaction, especially against hate cards. Then you have 3 Bala Ged Recovery, which serve as additional lands, as well as ways to get stuff back out of your graveyard. Lier is a nice way to play out of your graveyard and force your control opponent to have counter spells, otherwise they're in a lot of trouble. Pyramid of the Abyss in this version, which allows you to draw half your deck. And then obviously Otawara and Boseiju, in addition to being lands, are ways to answer hate-based permanents. And the rest of the mana base is kind of slanted towards making all 3 colors, especially of the white variety. Sideboard, 3rd copy of Soul Partition for additional hate cards, etc. 9 lives when you need to buy a little bit of time against aggro. Mystical Dispute against any type of blue counterspell decks. Glistening Deluge, Path of Peril, and Temporary Lockdowns against the aggressive decks, which are, as you can tell from this best of 1 version, very problematic. Approach is your primary win con. 3rd copy of Emergent Ultimatum. 2 copies of Silence to pair with your Mystical Disputes against blue decks. Day of Judgment also against the creature decks. Tremoka, good against creature decks and counterspell decks. Sphinx of the Final Word, very good against counterspell decks, namely Spirits and Blue-White Control. And then Zakama, when you kind of need to go Zakama, Tremoka Control against some of the faster decks, and you kind of like board out some of your slower Emergent Ultimatum, Omniscience, Peer into the Abyss nonsense, and become kind of a Zakama control deck. So that is Lotus Field Combo finally on the good old arena. We will attempt to do some best of 3 versions of it eventually, but I did want to get a video out, and this kind of welcome event kind of let me shake some rust off of some of the sequencing with this deck. So it's been a while, but Lotus Field is back, baby, especially on, now it's on arena. We can just jam to our heart's content. So as always, if you like Pioneer and Explore content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for our next video.